And the world just gets more and more fucked. End of show. I am despairing with this planet now. Now, I might have completely missed the fucking point and the plot with this, but yesterday, President Trump came out and said Tylenol is linked or can be linked to an increased, not is the major cause, is linked to an increased risk of ADHD and autism in children. And pregnant women are going on TikTok and downing Tylenol. Now, I'm in the UK. We don't have Tylenol. We do have Paracetamol, which is exactly the same thing as Tylenol. People don't realise that Paracetamol is Tylenol, same as ibuprofen is the same as Nurofen. It's the same fucking ingredient. The active ingredient in Tylenol, Paracetamol, is acetaminophen. So apparently this has got an increased risk of causing ADHD and autism in children when taken when pregnant. And people are downing paracetamol on TikTok. I don't know what to say. I'm going to play a clip of what Donald Trump actually said.
Effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen. Is that okay? Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol, during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary. That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever, that you feel you can't tough it out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a small number of cases, I think. But if you can't tough it out, if you can't do it, that's what you're going to have to do. You'll take a Tylenol, but it'll be very sparingly. It can be something that's very dangerous to the woman's health. In other words, a fever that's very, very dangerous, and ideally a doctor's decision, because I think you shouldn't take it. And you shouldn't take it during the entire pregnancy. They may tell you that toward the end of the pregnancy, you shouldn't take it during the entire. And you shouldn't give the child the Tylenol every time he's born and he goes and has a shot. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. That have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest that, yeah, with the Amish, for example.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should, but I'm not so careful with what I say.
The way I heard that, he's not saying that 100% oh, this causes autism. What he's saying is, do not take Tylenol because there is a significant increased risk of it causing autism or ADHD. My son has autism. I am fully aware that, this is a sensitive topic and I get it. They're not saying that autism is not a genetic component as well, and that genetics aren't in play here. They're not saying that autism is bad, but what they are saying is that there's an increased risk, and we have to look at the fact that I think that it's something like a 40% increase in autism over the last few years, and that is a ridiculous amount. And I'm not here to claim on the science. I'm not a scientist. I don't know enough about it. What I am is a mum of a child with autism. I'm not hearing this as a bad thing. What I'm hearing is a president calling out the pharmaceutical companies that essentially they are a business. And when I used to dental nurse, you would think as a dentist that they're recommending the best products for you, that they are recommending the products that you need based on your requirements. It's not the case. The products that get recommended to you in a dental surgery, and it's exactly the same all across the board, through the NHS, through the private clinics. We used to have these things called lunch and learns, and they were about once a month, where a sales rep would come into our practice and they would bring product demonstrations. So that might have been from Colgate, it might have been from Sensodyne, it might have been from other brands. And basically the one that got recommended in the practice and was advertised in the practice was the one that brought the nicest lunch. That's it. Not the best product, the nicest lunch. So we used to have reps that came and they would bring sandwiches. No one wants sandwiches. We'd have reps that came with pizza and cakes and coffees. Guess which one got recommended? That is a business. It's money. And that is exactly what big pharmaceutical companies have been doing.
Every time I come here, I mean, what is your problem with me?
Okay. Well, for starters, everyone here knows that you sell pills, and yet you use phrases like take orally and increases blood flow way too much. I mean, jeepers, Julie. Do you understand you got half the doctors on this staff believing that if they go ahead and join Team Plomox, that they get an outside shot of you showing them the cotton inside your bottle? Would you like to know the real dirty little secret? It's that your drug is so damn good that you guys went ahead and put about a 600% markup on it. But hey, the only ones get hurt are the sick people, right? Since your company damn sure doesn't care about them and you're part of the system, it just means you don't care either. And that's pretty much what's making you sick. That's all.
I have a thyroid problem. I had my thyroid removed totally about 15 years ago. I'm in UK and I need to have what they call, because my levels, even on levothyroxine, I need to have the I'm not going to go into T4, T3 because that's not what this is about, but I have struggled since I had my thyroid removed, balancing my T3, T4 hormones, because all we are given on the NHS is levothyroxine, which is T4, I think, only. It's not the T3, but you need both. Now, the only way that you can get that is privately at a ridiculous cost, or you can buy from abroad. So I used to buy it from Thailand and it was called natural desiccated thyroid. It was the only way I could get T4 and T3, and it was the only time I actually felt good. But in the NHS, all I can get is levothyroxine because that is what is promoted in the NHS. That's what pays the NHS the most money, so that's what they give you. It's not what's best for the patient. It's not about that. Healthcare has never been about that. And without going too deep into it, but the way I see it is the longer they keep us sick for, the more money they make from us. They make it look like they get us up to a level where they think, oh, I'm feeling better today. I look good. You're not really. You're reliant on drugs. You're reliant on medications, or you have one medication given to you, but then you need another medication to counteract that first medication. It's insane. And all I see here is a president that's coming out and calling out big pharmaceutical companies, finally. And then we have people going on TikTok, pregnant women going on TikTok and downing Tylenol, downing Paracetamol, just to prove a fucking point. I have chronic pain. I have fibromyalgia. I have chronic regional pain syndrome. I'm in pain all the time. My fingers, my back, my feet, my neck, everything hurts 99% of the time. The day I found out I was pregnant, the day I peed on that stick, my priority became what was in my uterus. That baby in my uterus became my only priority, and I stopped. I stopped taking, apart from the medication that I need to live, because if I don't have levothyroxine, I will go into a coma and die. I had to take my levothyroxine. I did not take paracetamol. I did not take any of my pain medication. I bought no over-the-counter medications. I think I ran one fever when I was pregnant, and I took one paracetamol, and it was on the advice of a doctor, and it was one. Now, I am someone that pops paracetamol and codeine like it's Smarties. And I stopped the day I found out I was pregnant. I didn't wean off gradually. I didn't do any of that. I came off because my son, my baby, was my most important priority. And to see women going on TikTok, making TikToks, even if you think you're right, even if you think that Tylenol doesn't cause autism or doesn't have an increased risk of causing autism, why the fuck would you go on TikTok and down something like that? Why would you do that? Why would you potentially, if there's a slight risk that Donald Trump is right, even if there's a minute risk that he's right, why? Why would you go on TikTok and take that risk? It's like playing Russian roulette. If I gave you a gun and I said to you, there's only one bullet in there, spin it, would you do it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't play Russian roulette. I certainly wouldn't play Russian roulette with my baby's life. But that's exactly what you're doing. Because Tylenol themselves have come out and said, we don't recommend you take this product when pregnant. That was years ago. They came out themselves and said that. I don't get why we're seeing videos like this.
Wow, like runway model?
OnlyFans model.
Damn, are you expensive?
The Matrix is a system, Neo.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
That system is full of degenerates. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of the woke system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to pick up a biology textbook. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on their pronouns that they will fight to protect it.
Because I don't take my medical advice.
Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the dude in the red dress? The dude? Look again.
So,
Who is it?
that's right. Dr. Orange Orangutan doesn't want people to take Tylenol. He says
That wasn't a
Or
woman?
medicine.
No.
And who had a parasitic brain infection.
It's another training
and
program
was
designed
addicted
to
to
teach you
heroin
one
for
thing.
14 years. Yeah,
You
I'll
are
trust
not
my
one of us
doctors
who might marry
who
one
have
of
their
them.
degree.
What are they? Transformers. They can move in and out of any gender, regardless of their chromosomes.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
I don't know what to say. The first one, I apologize for the running commentary that was on there. It was just the first TikTok video that I saw that got like multiple clips. But I'm at a loss. And like I said, especially when your Tylenol themselves came out and said, don't take when pregnant. I am baffled at the moment why mothers would potentially put their babies at risk. Medical people have been wrong for a long time. There was a scenario not long ago where they said that tomatoes cause cancer, and then they said that they didn't. They used to promote smoking. They used to say that smoking was good for you. Now we know it's not. Why would you gamble with your baby's life? And when you read the ingredients and the problems caused by Tylenol and paracetamol, it's not great anyway. And these people aren't taking them because they're in pain. They're taking them because they want to do a TikTok video. So taking paracetamol, here we go, taking acetaminophen can cause liver damage, sometimes severe enough to require liver transplantation or death. You might accidentally take too much acetaminophen. Do not take more than one product that contains acetaminophen at the time. Take exactly as prescribed, blah, 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 blah. So let's have a look at side effects. So side effects can be serious. Red, peeling or blistering skin, rash, hives, itching, swelling of the face, throat, tongue, lips, eyes, hands, feet, ankles, lower legs, hoarseness, difficulty breathing or swallowing. All medications have their risks. Acetaminophen is no different. Paracetamol is no different. Ibuprofen is no different. And I don't understand why we would do it just to prove a point on TikTok.